Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Nilendu Chatterjee from Department of Economics, Bankim Sardar College. This is my second video on national income, its concepts and estimation. In the first video, we had discussed about different concepts of measuring national income or its different definitions you can say. Here we are going to talk about the three methods mainly by which national income is estimated and few related things. Now we know that national income is mainly estimated by applying three broad methods, that is product method, income method and expenditure method. We can consider product method as the flow of goods and services. Here the goods and services are mainly considered. In the income methods, the income earned by factors of production by taking part in production process are taken together, and in the expenditure method the expenditure for purchase of goods and services are considered. So it's the three flows that are considered. In the product method, the flow of goods and services; in the income method, the flow of income of the factors of production; and in the expenditure method, the flow of expenditure for purchasing goods and services are concerned. Apart from these three methods, there is another method known as the value added method. In the value added method, we add up the value that is added at different stages of production. That is, we consider the value added at each stage of production together and arrive at the value of national income. But all these methods give us the same result, about which we are going to talk a bit later. But why do we consider these three broad methods? Because you can see that income and goods and services, they are always moving in a circular flow, because whenever there is production taking place, it generates income, and that income again generates demand for goods and services. To fulfill that demand, it needs expenditure to be incurred. So all these three processes are moving together in a circular flow. So all these three methods give us same result. Next we are going to discuss about product method or output method. Product method is also known as output method, because in this process the money value of the final goods and services which are produced in an economy during an year are taken together at market price. So this gives us the flavor of GDP at market price, because the economy is disaggregated into different sectors such as agriculture, fishery, manufacturing, and then the money value of these units are taken together and added to get to the national income. So few things are to be remembered here. That is, we consider the money value of all final goods and services which are produced in an economy during an accounting year. So to avoid the problem of double counting, we should remember it involves the valuation at market price of all final goods. So that means we have to consider the valuation or the market price of all final goods, so that we can give importance to the problem of double counting, so that a certain commodity should not be counted more than once. Next we are going to the income method. In income method, we get to the gross national income at factor cost, because in income method we add up the income earned by different factors of production by taking part in the every stage of production. Because in income method we consider wages and salaries, rent, interest rate, dividends, undistributed corporate profits, income earned from mixed sources, direct tax, indirect tax. All these things are taken together, because all these things will give us to reach, or all these things will help us to reach to NDP. And with that, when we add up net factor income from abroad, we get to an NP at factor cost. So by adding the incomes earned by factors of production by taking part in different production process, we get to the value of NDP at factor cost, and from NDP at factor cost we get to an NP at factor cost. Next we are going to talk about expenditure method. Now expenditure method measures national income as the aggregate of all final expenditures on goods and services, certainly during an accounting year. So here four types of expenditures are considered, that is the expenditures made by the four sectors of an economy. Firstly, the expenditure incurred by the household sector, that is the final private consumption expenditure. Now expenditure incurred by the firms for investment, that is known as gross fixed capital formation, as well as change in stock, so that is gross domestic private investment, then there is spending by government, or what we say as government's expenditure, and then there is expenditure by the foreigners on our goods, that is our export, and minus spending by our residents on foreign goods, which is import. So X minus M, or export minus import, has to be considered. So here we get the flavor of gross national income. So GDP at market price gives us the gross national expenditure here. Now few things are to be remembered while considering expenditure method, that we should not consider second hand goods because they are not presently produced, or they are not produced in the present accounting year, and we should exclude new or old bonds and shares because they are not considered as goods and services, and we should not consider transfer payments of the government. And then, to avoid the problem of double counting, the expenditure on intermediate goods should not be considered, otherwise it will lead to double counting of a certain good. Now you can see here that all the three methods give us the same result. From output method, if we deduct consumption of fixed capital, and then if we deduct net indirect tax and we add net factor income from abroad, we get to the national income. Similarly, with income method, we have to add net factor income from abroad to get to the national income, and from expenditure method, again we have to deduct consumption of fixed capital or depreciation, net indirect tax, and we have to add NFIA to get to the value of national income. Now what is value added method? Now value added means the revenue earned by a firm minus the cost of its intermediate input. So there is value added at each stage of production in all the sectors. So if we could add up all these, all the value which are added at every stage of production in all the sectors, we can get to the value of national income. Here three factor payments are considered as cost of intermediate inputs. Those are bill for wage and bill for capital and bill for land, which is rent, in rate of interest, and wages and salaries. Here profit isn't considered because from total revenue, if we subtract the cost of intermediate inputs, we get the value of profit. So value added is actually the amount of profit. So this is the income side approach of value added, and there is expenditure side approach as well, for which a reference would be given. You can show that by using an n by n matrix, we can get to the value added method, or we can use the value added method, which shows the interdependency among different firms. Now coming to circular flow of income. Circular flow of income shows that in any economy, goods and services and factors of production, they are continuously being exchanged for money. So if we have a two-sector economy, we have households and firms, between them goods and services and factors of production being exchanged for money. In case of three-sector economy, government comes, remember it's a three-sector economy but closed one, government comes and goods and services and factors of production are being exchanged among these three sectors. And for a four-sector economy, the external sector comes and the same process goes on among the four sectors. Now the the circular flow of income method gives us a clear idea about the equilibrium and disequilibrium of the economy, and it also tells us, even if there is disequilibrium, what steps we could take to get it back to the equilibrium. So for this part, we need to study Professor Soumen Sikdar's book on Principle of Macroeconomics, chapter 2, as well as book by Professor Ghosh and Professor Ghosh on macroeconomics. We have to study chapter 2 from that as well. Now you will be provided a study material on this video. It will be on circular flow of income, and there will be a case study to be solved, and along with that few questions will be given. And in the next video we will be discussing about problems of estimating national income and environmental national income, and how can we use national income, or how can we describe national income in an open economy. Thank you.